If this guy were a lionfish, this would be the holy grail of lionfish. This Goliath grouper seems to have pointed out a tasty treat for me. Get out of the way, big gulp. And here we go. We're hunting, boom, for the invasive lionfish once again out here in Boynton Beach, Florida. This is a pretty good size one right here. We found several good sized ones on this day, and this is just an epic boom dive. Look at that nice hard coral there. It's very healthy little chunk of reef, and the water was so blue and crystal clear. Boom. Although we did find several lionfish on this dive, it's nothing like the way it used to be. And in this video, we're going to show you some really cool spots where you would think there would be lionfish everywhere. And in the past, there's been 14 lionfish in the spot where there was no lionfish this time. It was pretty incredible, the difference only a couple of dudes could make out here. There are a bunch of other people hunting them in the shallows, and then all throughout the state of Florida and the Caribbean, there are thousands of people doing this. Everyone's got to lend their hand and then try to get rid of as much of these fish as possible. Since these lionfish are so invasive, they will take out reef systems and just wipe out all of the fish. And as you can see in this video, this is what happens when you are making a difference. Look at all these different species of fish in huge schools. Cottonwicks, just gorgeous, beautiful blue and yellow, and these guys are really cute too. But look at the ridiculous amount of fish. This cave is home to normally many lionfish, and there wouldn't be nearly as many of these little fish around if we were just to leave these fish alone and let them carry on with their business. All of these little fish are now food for the dwindling population of local predators. So now, hopefully, with all of this food, they can come back and become strong again. Big old rope from, obviously, either a fisherman, or sometimes a boat will get stranded out there and they'll throw their anchor down, or they'll anchor on the reef and have to cut their line. This is a great big mouth on this beautiful red grouper. Does it look red? No, it doesn't look red. Boom! Look at him, he barked at me. Red groupers this deep in the ocean look more like a brown or gray color. Doesn't that remind you of the SpongeBob episode? You see the two buns next to each other with plankton right in the middle. But, you know, same thing with the red lionfish in that red container. Everything's supposed to be red, but you can't really see that color. Now, this bright orangish yellow on these porkfish does come through fairly well down there, but they're much brighter in real life. Boom! That's a nice one. So we're out here in this patch reef. I like to call it the patch reef. I'm actually going to do another video where it shows the entire reef. Tried to give this guy a little snack, but he was just not having it. Didn't trust me, didn't trust the lionfish. He knows how painful they can be, so he says forget about it. But I'm going to post a video that shows the inside of the reef and all the way over to the top of the reef and down into the patch reef where we normally hunt, so you guys can have a good idea of what it all looks like down here, and you can understand the structure. This is just a whole bunch of sand with random chunks of old reef bed. And those chunks of rock have a lot of life. As you can see, these gorgeous little, I think these ones are probably the gray. These are going to be gray angelfish. Do they look gray? No, they got the bright yellow, they got the blue on the bottom. But as they grow, they will either be a French angelfish or a gray angelfish. And the rounded tail is a good way to tell which one it's going to be. But I can't remember the round tails, gray or the French. That's a great question. There's some gorgonias, and usually when I see a lot of gorgonias, I don't see a lot of lionfish. For some reason, they don't really favor that type of coral. Occasionally they do, but it seems to be their least favorite area. There's another red grouper. Look at that big old tail. They're so pretty with all their little spots and their little mohawk. They got a groovy little mohawk. Look at, oh, there's one. There's one. And look at all these minnows on only one lionfish. That is insane. Normally we would come by here, years ago when we first started doing this back in 2017, there would be a smorgasbord of lionfish all over this area. And you're only seeing one or two. Look at, there's another one right under the ledge. That was a good sized one too. I barely got him here. So I decide what's the smart thing to do is to, before he gets off, I'm just going to put him down here and dispatch him so he can't get off the spear. It's smarter to take the extra minute to to go ahead and do that than to let him get away. So if you see there, I put the spear on top of his head, and that keeps him in place so I can do my thing and get him into the container a lot easier. This guy's just checking me out. Look at this world around him of just fish everywhere. To me, that's just that's amazing. That's just awesome to me. Super gorgeous. He's just sitting there enjoying our time together. And I don't think I'm going to give him any of this lionfish. But sometimes you can cut a piece of lionfish and they'll suck it up and they'll eat it. You see here, I have him hooked and then, oops, it popped. See how it popped off there? That's the same idea. I didn't want him to do that while he was with us. I'm going to go ahead and, he's definitely not with us anymore. I'm going to go ahead and put him in here so we can make sure to get him on the boat, because that was our 15-incher, I believe. So that's a pretty good sized lionfish. Look at how cool this is. All these different species. The surgeon fish back there, all the angelfish, of course our red grouper. Everybody's just having a party. The hogfish as well. Beautiful hogfish. There's a hogfish I'm going to show you in just a moment. That's absolutely gorgeous. I did one more flyby because it was such a pretty reef with all kinds of hard coral. I mean, for this part of the world, those are some nice corals, I'm telling you. Over in other parts of the world where coral's just way more common, you've got some insane structure. Like when we went to Indonesia, you can go back and watch some of my videos of Indonesia and the Philippines, and man, the corals there are super duper healthy, just immaculate, beautiful corals. But here's that big boy. Look at the tail. Look at the forked tail on this guy. That's a big old hog. That's pretty cool. I love seeing those big, healthy hogfish. It makes me happy. Well, I'm going to actually show a video here pretty soon of a hogfish flirting with a bunch of girls. He's flicking his little, his little antenna up there on top of his head. He's got this little peacock frill that comes off the top of his head, and they vibrate that and shake it at the ladies, and that's kind of how they use that to attract females. So it was pretty groovy. Boom! Look at that. Those barrel sponges are just everywhere, and they're one of the coolest things ever. To see this weird landscape that's different than being on Earth. I mean, I'm sorry, it is on Earth, but you get what I'm saying. On land. Super unique, absolutely amazing. All this different structure and all these, see those long skinny ones? Those are all living things. Those are all sponges. Boom. I was taking a shot right through the middle to make sure I didn't hit. Oh, missed. Sometimes you sacrifice the shot by trying to save the sponge and not destroy things. But it's worth it to me. I don't think you should sit there and destroy things if you don't have to. And once again, we've got all these little fry, these small fish, and what do you know? Boom, there's the lionfish. Now that piece right there is a broken piece of barrel sponge. It almost looks like it's technically probably still living, but it's dying. It's not doing that well. But they can bud. Sponges can bud off and make more sponges. So it's kind of a cool thing, and therefore you just kind of let it be and hope for the best. Boom. I don't think it's ever going to reattach, but what it can do is have a small piece hopefully reattach. But that big piece is just going to keep floating around until it isn't with us anymore, unfortunately. But that's what happens. Sometimes they die naturally. Sometimes fishing line will chop the barrel sponges right in half. It just depends on their fate, but they can live for hundreds of years. It's like a redwood tree over in California. Well, we're into a few minutes of deco here, so it's about time to call it a day and go up. Here we are. See how clear this water is? Top to bottom visibility, beautiful sun rays coming through, and we managed to get quite a few lionfish. Woo! Got my brand new regulator in. I'm pretty spoiled thanks to you guys. Thanks, guys. Follow me.